still watching Science Breakfast with me, Alan Hubbard, and the sign language interpreter is Gideon Maina this morning. We apologize for that inconvenience, but we are here to tell you what is happening in the political world, in the political scene in our beloved country, Kenya. I am your host, Alan Hubbard, and my co-pundit. He is not my co-host. He is my co-pundit. He is Kasanga Johnson. Kasanga, kindly greet the people and tell us how your weekend was like.
Good morning. My name is Kasanga Johnson. I had a wonderful. I am Kasanga Johnson.
Oh, for a reason I had missed. Sorry, apologies.
Bro,
apologies for that. Apologies for that.
So my weekend has been awesome. My daughter is working. Yes. So. Yeah. So that was.
Did not see that. Did not see that coming, but. You can't take away a father's joy. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
But we are not here to talk about babies walking. We are here to talk about the happenings of politics in the country. And we saw what happened over the weekend in politics. We saw the president. Many say that it was a visit long overdue. 8-9 months into office, and he had not made an official visit to Mount Kenya just yet. We saw the president visit Mount Kenya. We saw the former president Uhuru Kenyatta visit Museveni. We're going to be hearing what they got to talk about, but as well the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition keeping its stances and saying they do not want a handshake with the Kenya Kwanza government. And yes, those are some of the things that have been happening in politics. In a summary way, what do you make of all of the things that happened over the weekend in politics?
What I noted for this since Monday till yesterday is that there's a deliberate act to acquire Mount Kenya. The Kenya Kwanza team wants to assert some form of dominance on the Mount region, given that it's one of the regions that has the most number of voters.
Is it one of, or it is the most?
No, I'd say one of, because we have Western.
Yes.
And the Luya community is a big community. Surprisingly, I did not know there are so many is it subgroups or sub-clans of Luya? There are a lot. Yeah. So it's one of the biggest
voting blocks in the country.
Yes. So when you have it in your hands, then for the next electioneering period you're set.
And I think that would link into what Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua said, that now William Ruto is the defunct leader of Mount Kenya.
Yeah. Well, you see, politics, you have to present a certain form of facade. In politics, what we see is basically what is there. Even if what we see is not true, that is what will be deemed to be there. Yeah.
Okay. Before you go now deeply into the matters of the country, let us see this clip from former President Uhuru Kenyatta as he met Yoweri Museveni, and what exactly they got to talk about, and the role that Uhuru Kenyatta is playing in geopolitics of the country Kenya and on the African continent. Watch. From those pictures, what would you think that would have been the reason of former President Uhuru Kenyatta visiting Uganda?
It's difficult to say,
Yes.
given that Uhuru plays several roles. We can just speculate
Yes.
on the roles that he plays. You know, Uhuru is a chairperson for the Azimio team. Maybe he went to have a discussion with Museveni with regards to that. Uhuru also plays a certain political role in the continent.
Yeah.
Maybe it was also with regards to that. So it's difficult to pinpoint one, but you can speculate amongst all of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think that it would be about the situation in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and also what we're seeing that is happening in Sudan currently?
There is a possibility,
Yes.
given that whatever happens in Congo spills over to Uganda. But with regards to Sudan, it's an interesting thing. You know, Museveni he got into power through a coup.
Yes.
It wouldn't be advisable for him to be involved in the happenings of
Sudan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But probably people change.
No. Politics is politics.
Yes.
Yeah, it's there are rules. There are rules.
And away from Museveni, also a former, not former, but Azimio leaders' ultimatum to Kenya Kwanza team. The talks were slated to happen today, but the team decided that they should schedule Wednesday as the beginning of the bilateral talks or the bipartisan talks. This one is being called 2.0 after 1.0 failed. And also the people who were tasked with 1.0, you would say that they did not properly carry out the talks, but now it is believed that 2.0 would be a better version, just as it is always in software. But here are the sentiments, and we're going to be weighing into this after this clip plays.
Sisi kama Azimio tuko tayari kuongea, tutaongea na tumewapatia wale jamaa wa siku 30 kuongea. Baada ya siku 30 kama jamaa bado wamekaa ngumu, tutatoa amri nyingine.
We want to tell them that come to those talks in good faith and come to them seriously. Because if you lack seriousness, we are prepared to go back.
Tumetoa tume ambayo inaongozwa na Bwana Kalonzo Musyoka kuongea na wale kutoka ng'ambo ile nyingine, na tumesema tutaongea bila masharti. Wao vile vile tumesema usitoe masharti kwetu, lakini wasipokuwa tayari kuongea na kukubaliana na sisi vile sisi tunataka, tumesema baada ya siku 30 Wakenya wataanza kuchukua hatua tofauti tena. Wakasema kwa madaha na kwa majivuno ya kwamba askari wamefanya kazi nzuri. Kazi ya kuua binadamu haiwezi kuwa kazi nzuri. Huwezi kujivuna Bwana Ruto ati askari yako wamefanya kazi nzuri kwa kuua watoto ya watu. Hawa watoto ni wa Kenya, na ni jukumu ya serikali kulinda maisha na hali ya wananchi na mali ya wananchi.
We will not tire. Amen. You can kill some of us, but you cannot kill all of us.
Kalonzo Musyoka being fronted for the bilateral talks between Kenya Kwanza and Azimio la Umoja. What do you make of this? Raila Odinga, surprisingly, is taking a backseat in the talks. When you compare of all the bilateral talks have happened in the previous governments, is he slowly passing down the mantle?
I don't think he's passing it down yet, given that Raila is a young boy. When it comes to politics.
That's how you tell psychopaths of certain leaders.
No. When it comes to politics,
Yes.
Raila is a young boy, Bona. How old is Trump? How old is Biden? Compare that to Raila.
Yes.
Raila is a young boy. Let him to walk.
Yes.
But fronting Kalonzo to lead those talks. Number one, Kalonzo is a diplomat.
Yes.
We have seen him doing the same when he was vice president under Kibaki, and also Kalonzo is a principal in the Azimio party.
Yeah.
So his heart is in Azimio. Kalonzo cannot be bought. Let me leave it there.
I thought you could be to add on to it. But when you still look at the hard stances of Kenya Kwanza that they are taking, and Azimio side what they are taking, exactly, we have not clearly known what is going to be on the discussion table.
Actually, let me add something. I watched the president's interview yesterday night.
Yes.
And I had him refer to Raila as mtu wa vitendawili, and Ruto was very, very intentional in not mentioning Uhuru in that interview.
Yeah.
And you know, you can read between the lines. What I surmised from that,
Yes.
the talks will be there, but before the talks,
Yes.
we'll have the streets once more. The government is going to take a hard stand again, because you've listened to what Raila said, that the president praised the police,
Yes.
and yet people died. And if you can read the report by the police,
Yes.
there were no mention of civilian casualties, only mention of police casualties and businesses
Yes.
that were affected. Now, this gentleman and these two groups are not reading from the same script.
Yes.
They are not on the same page. It will take some bit of convincing for
Yes.
them to be back on the same page. So we will go back to the streets.
Yes.
The talks will not happen. We will go back to the streets, and then after the streets, we will go back to the talks, hoping that
Yes.
the 3.0 will now work.
And talking about probably these talks also collapsing, and definitely we do not want to be prophets of doom, because we would want our, to see our country move into the right direction. The ICC prosecutor, Mr. Khan, was or is still in the country,
Yeah.
and Azimio cried foul on the same. And they said we cannot be compiling a case against the government, and the person who we are going to be filing the case to, and who is supposed to come here and investigate, is already in the country. Would you say, yes, the prosecutor of ICC is here for totally different business, but is this a card that the government has already played and shown the Azimio side that, yes, you have this card, but it's not going to work? What is your view on that?
It's interesting. You know, you can view it from all angles, but from where I sit,
Yes.
The opposition is trying to cry foul,
Yes.
over something that is not even there. Yeah. So in my view, it is inconsequential.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you trying to say it is inconsequential for the people who lost their lives?
No. For Karim Khan to be here,
Yes.
and for a case to be filed, there is no correlation. I don't think Karim Khan. Sorry. That name is difficult.
Khan. 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 Okay.
I don't, Mr. Khan.
Yes.
I don't think him being here is going to have any effect
Yes.
on the case being filed. Because you know, the ICC is not the normal typical court you have in a country.
Yes.
It's held to a high standard, and you know the international community watches.
Yes.
And I don't think anyone will prejudice their career because of hizi vitu ndogo ndogo. I think once the case is in the court,
Yes.
they will stick to their high standards. Yeah.
I will probe further and mention that Karim Khan was the lawyer of the current president.
I remember. But understand that even you, at this moment, your allegiance is to your employer.
Yes.
Are you directly firing shots at me? No, that's how it is.
Yeah.
So your allegiance is to your employer.
Yes.
At that time, his allegiance was to President William Ruto, then the vice president. But I think also, as the person who should be crying the most,
Yes.
would be the will be the president who was deputy president then, because the prosecutor knows a lot about you. so he's the only person.
Yeah, he's the only person who should be in jitters.
Yeah.
Better an enemy you know.
Yeah, than a friend you don't know.
Yeah. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, we're coming back with the president, as he said, Raila caused chaos in a bid to force a handshake. Even as the other flank says, they are not interested in a handshake. What exactly is in it for these players? And we're going to be listening to a clip when we come back from the break, and we're going to be weighing in exactly if the talks indeed were able to happen, what can be given, and what can be given by the government, and what can be taken by the Azimio side. Excuse me, and we'll be back after the break. Time and again, you have asked us to level up. Come, let me show you something. Finally, we get to introduce the new and amazing look. Welcome to an all-new exciting look of the Science Breakfast Show. Every other day, catch me as I look at the news that are making headlines in the country.
When I was doing the sprints and talking to people who have encountered the app during the pro bono period, I came across an interpreter who told me she helped a deaf person who had gone to the delivery. And to me, that was a eureka moment of how deeply this app is actually being used by the deaf community, because during the maternal engagement of this deaf person with the doctors, she was able to call an interpreter who would now tell the doctor how she was feeling, the experiences she was having. So the doctor was able to serve this deaf person better than it would have been without a sign language interpreter.
You want captivating action, crazy plot twists, and nerve-ending drama?
My family. And now. I'm gonna go up there without you.
Tune in every Monday to Wednesday from 10 p.m. to be part of the movie family only on Science TV.
The new mobile money service imefika. Vuma ni wallet yako ya kurahisisha. Sort mother na mzae na Vuma. Buy airtime kwa kila network for free. Hakuna interruptions ukibonga na msupa. Credo itaishaje na unaweza ukavuma. Sort bills zako na the Vuma pay bill.
To join, dial *844# and download the Vuma app now. Load cash to your wallet through Vuma agents or your bank, or go to your nearest KCB Bank branch, ATM or agent. Let your money flow with Vuma.
Unajua wamezoea tabia mbaya. Walilete kisirani kwa Moi wakapata kitu, wakalete kisirani kwa Kibaki wakalete pata nusu mkate, wakakuja wakalete kisirani kwa Uhuru wakapata handshake. Hapa hakuna handshake, hakuna nusu mkate, hakuna chochote. Mimi nilikuwa muungwana nikawaambia hao watu ya kwamba wawache fujo, wakalete fujo Kenya. Mimi sasa nimewaambia hakuna tena maandamano itafanyika Kenya ati ya kuharibu maisha na kuharibu mali na kuharibu biashara ya watu wa taifa letu la Kenya. Neguo. Na hii watu nitawakalia ngumu. Mimi siwezi kukubali tena.
Na rais hapa, watu hapa Mlima Kenya walikuchagua wewe na wakakupatia kura zao zote. Wamesema kwa kauli moja mambo ya handshake hawataki.
Sisi tunashangaa wale watu baada ya mwaka moja hawajatambua kwamba uchaguzi ulikwisha na rais ni William Ruto. Ni watu wa ajabu hawa.
Miwa wetu na kushukuru kwa sababu unaangalia majani yetu, unaangalia kahawa yetu, unaangalia maziwa yetu, na hayo yote itaweka pesa kwa mifuko yetu.
Mheshimiwa Rais, na kushukuru kwa miradi yote ambayo umetuletea, maji na barabara na EPZ na zile zingine. Sisi tuko huku tunashikilia ground na tutaendelea kupeleka maendeleo.
And on those sentiments from Mount Kenya, we were in. Welcome back from the break. I'm Alan Hubbard, and my co-pandit here is Johnson Kasanga. That clip is of the president and other Mount Kenya leaders yesterday in Nyeri. Is it the Sagana Country Club?
State Lodge.
Oh, I just had to check. At the Sagana State Lodge. First, let's start it on a witty point. The deputy president made true his promise that watu watakula mchele na nyama pale Sagana State Lodge. And indeed, the rice was cooked and people ate meat. And it went to the extent of some revealers saying that hapo tu mali walikuwa, the cost of living is very low. Yeah, but on to serious matters here now. When we echo onto the sentiments of the president, hakutakuwa na maandamano tena. And you say from your point of view that probably these talks 2.0 they will flop, and we might see going back to the streets. And the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga said also that if talks do not work, Kenyans should brace for demonstrations in September. What is the president so sure about that there won't be any further demonstrations? But also, I would say his team is a little bit lukewarm on the bipartisan talks.
You know, in politics, you have to give so that you can get.
Yes.
That is the basic principle. You give so that you can get. The president's team does not want the president to give out anything.
Yes.
Because they will lose. You know that the government cannot create jobs.
Yes.
The government cannot create opportunities. Whatever is there, that is what will be shared.
Yes.
In the event that power is to be shared, and that is what the president's team is greatly afraid of. So, I believe the president is in a tight fix. His people don't want him to relinquish anything.
Yes.
His people don't want him to talk, and you can, as you can see from the speech of one Musalia Mudavadi, the current Prime Cabinet Secretary.
Yes.
They're still in the campaign mode, and they don't want any inch of power to be given out. So as I told you before, we will go back to the streets, and then we'll go back to have a conversation. Yeah.
But if at all the president was to give, what is there to be given? In all due honesty,
what is there to be given? Cabinet Secretary positions. That is a creme de la creme of governance. Yes. Nothing else. Just ministers.
Yes.
And ministries. And not only not only ministries, but which specific ministries. As you know, there are ministries that are considered to be more powerful than
as
others.
compared to others.
Yeah.
And we are escalating this conversation even as we come closer to the end of it. I went asked now to rope in the conversation or the performance contracting that we witnessed. I think it was on a couple of days in the past week. And the president was he sort of read the riot roster to his cabinet secretaries, and then what fell in the cracks of all of this was a possible reshuffle of the cabinet. And also now when you bring in your point of view that there might be cabinet CS positions to be shared in the advent of a cabinet reshuffle, what happens? And as it happens, do you think this might be an opportunity to sneak in people who had not been on the cabinet list? And what would happen to the stability of the government, and particularly in Kenya Kwanza itself?
Kenya Kwanza will go. Yes, opportunities will be given out to the Azimio team.
Yes,
that is given. What will happen to Kenya Kwanza, as it is constituted right now, it will fall apart.
Yes,
but because it will have some muscle from the Azimio side, it will become stronger. What will happen then from there? We are going to have members from Kenya Kwanza forming another party to oppose Kenya Kwanza, as we saw in the previous government.
Yes,
you know we are guided by history. You saw the ruling parties, UDA.
Yes,
it started as not as a party, but as a, I'm trying to remember the word that they used.
Tanga Tanga.
No. Achana Tanga Tanga. It was like chama tu ya kujisaidia, but not an official political party. You see, even when it was registered by one Johnston Muthama.
Where is he right now in the government?
He's in government bwana, anakula mzuri.
Okay.
Unajua hii serikali, let me tell you, if you want to silence your opponent, give him work. And a lot of work, if possible, ya nje. You see, Uhuru is in Uganda.
Okay.
When he comes back, he need at least 1 week to rest.
Yeah.
So you know, right now he won't cause problems. When he's resting, he won't cause problems. And you know, after his rest, he'll be preparing to go, maybe, I don't know, to Sudan.
Yes.
And that's how you mitigate opposition.
Yes.
Yeah. So give them work, a lot of it, so that they'll be busy. They'll not even have time to you know for demonstrations and such.
Yeah.
And that will be my advice to the president. Wangwana wapatie kazi ile mingi, watafanya kazi. Na you remember Raila was given the role in
the African Union.
Yes. Sorry, President Uhuru's tenure. The guy was tired. Hakuwa na masaa hii kufanya maandamano na hii kazi ingine. So that is the only way you mitigate this thing. Yeah.
And you hinted, or we talked about a possible cabinet reshuffle.
Yes.
And now, if a cabinet reshuffle was to happen, what do you think are the cards that the president will be looking at, and what ministries would you think he will need to crank up a little bit?
You see, that will be advised by the documents that they signed last time. And I see the person who will be most affected is one Kithure Kindiki, because of what has happened in the police during the demonstrations. Also, another ministry that I think will be greatly affected is one for agriculture. Because right now, as you can see, what we are producing is not even up to 50% of what we need to consume.
Yes.
With regards to things like sugar, flour, and both maize and wheat.
Yes.
I think those are the two that will be greatly affected, and given that those two are one of the
biggest backbones of the country.
Yes. And not only that, they are considered to be one of the best ministries with the greatest power. I think if those can be ceded to the Azimio team, then you'll have some peace and stability until the 5-year, 10-year stand.
Cabinet Secretary, Trade and Investments, he stays put?
I'm not sure. That's 50-50. You know, the guy has money.
Yes.
And in politics, you also need money for the campaign period that is coming. What will be different is the next tenure for
Yeah.
Ruto, but this one, you know, he still has to look for votes for the next one.
Yeah.
Once he's done with this one and he's already in the next one, you know, ashamaliza kazi.
Yeah.
Hakuna kazi ingine mnaweza mpatia inaweza fikia kwa president. So he wouldn't have anything to lose. Just work, leave a legacy.
Yeah. And then you sort of launched me into my next question. Do you think that the president is aware that there is a time that will come and Kenya Kwanza will be broken, and he is only buying time to make the move that he thinks will be breaking the camel's back at a time that he feels he is a little bit confident? Because when I look at it, and from my point of view, I think he would have already made this move, but the inroads that he has been trying to create in Nyanza, they have not sort of bore fruit just as yet, and I think for that one reason it has delayed the move that the president probably wants to play. And I would say that's why he sort of delayed to go to Mountain Kenya. He was sort of weighing, if I make any decisions, will I be able to get another flank that will be able to back me up? Because there is a possibility of him making the move and still the Nyanza region would say, okay, simeona wasaliti. Now if Nyanza comes together with Mountain Kenya, it's a done deal.
It's a done deal.
What do you make of this?
There will come a time when Kenya Kwanza will be finished. It is the truth.
Yes.
That is undeniable. You saw I think it was PNU in 2002 that took power, and then after that we had the Rainbow Coalition. Where are the parties right now? You come to 2013, we had the PNU. I think no, it was TNA and URP.
Yes.
Where are the parties? They decided to collapse into Jubilee. Come to 2017, Jubilee is strong. Months after 2017, where's Jubilee? It's crumbling. But you know, the president is already the president. Jubilee gives birth to another political party called is it UDA? UDA. Yes, it gives
UDA.
it gives birth. It gives birth to UDA.
Yes.
Now UDA with some other parties form Kenya Kwanza.
Yeah.
Now this is something that will happen. Kenya Kwanza is only as strong as President Ruto is in power, and only also as strong as President Ruto is looking for another electioneering period, for a win in another electioneering period. I'm telling you this as the truth. You can take it to the bank. Come 2027, if Ruto wins, that will be the end of Kenya Kwanza.
And I hope it is not the bank of Francis Atwoli, because there are so many things that we've been asked to take to the bank and we have never banked them. This week, the hearing of the Finance Act or the Finance Bill.
Actually, it's today.
It's yes, today. Yes, it's happening. What do you foresee? Is it even still necessary, the hearing itself?
Yeah, the hearing is necessary, given that the matters raised were of constitutional value.
Yes.
I still hold the view that if the whole thing will not be thrown out, significant sections of it will be thrown out, given that even the housing levy fund, there is no body in place to be responsible for the finances.
Yeah.
That in itself
is
something that should not be allowed to be implemented, because Kenyans will lose their money.
Yeah.
And you can imagine they are losing their money to the government. Where will you take the government?
Nowhere.
If not to the courts. So we are hoping that some of these things will be reviewed. The rate of taxation is a bit on the high. So we are hoping that not hoping, we are just waiting to see what the courts will agree. So I think it will be thrown down, if not in totality, but in parts. Yeah.
All right. And that is all we've had for you this morning. I've been your host, Alan Hubbard, and sign language interpreters have been Anwar Rimu and Gideon Minor, and my pundit of every other Monday, Johnson Kasanga. We say keep it Science TV, as later on in the day more news is coming your way. 1 p.m, 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. And do not forget, at 8 p.m. Sports City will be also coming, and they will be breaking down the build-up of the return of the Premier League. Are you a sports person?
No.
Why are you chuckling when I say Sports City?
I had sijui Arsenal walifanya nini ama ilikuwa Manchester.
All that you will find on Sports City. Good morning, stay safe, and do have a beautiful week.